Hello, hotties. Welcome to Wild&T with Tara.
Teddy.
And Tawny. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a fun segment to start. I guess to some of you it's a game, but quoting movies is not a game in our family. It's just what we do in our everyday life. So today we're going to bring to you our most used movie quotes, and on top of it, we're going to see if each other remembers what movie that's from. You guys ready?
And I'd say for the listeners, if they know what we quote the most, definitely, drop that comment.
Yeah.
And points to you if you do. As I was saying, I ran these by my husband the other night, and he very confidently gave me all the wrong answers for every single movie quote. So did not do very well. Even though I use them all the time, and I constantly ask him name that movie, and I always tell him what it is, and he can't ever remember. So I'll start with one of my most used. This is my most used. I don't say it out loud. This is something that I say. It's my internal monologue when I do it, because I'll do something and I'll be like, "Oh, that didn't really turn out how I wanted it to," but it worked, right? So the quote that I say is not what I had in mind, but not bad.
It's good. This is a good one.
Do you know what is that from?
It's off of Hercules. It's what
Yes.
Phil is yeah.
And when Phil is training him, and he defeats the river garden or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, not bad, kid. Not what I had in mind, but not bad." So anytime something turns out but not the way that I meant it to, always what my brain does.
That's amazing.
All right, Tara, you're up.
Probably my most used one is from my favorite movie, and I don't know. I feel like are we explaining why we use these quotes? I don't know if I have
You can. I just explain it because it's always in my
head.
head.
I shouldn't explain why I use my quotes, but this one I always say, and sometimes I'll switch it around. It goes deplorable, adorable.
From Treasure Planet.
Deplorable, adorable.
For me, it fits many moments.
That is Tara's quote for sure.
Oh yeah. When I was thinking about this, I was like, Tara's gonna do that one. I know she's gonna do that one.
Yeah, we already knew. I started to write it down, and I was like, no, this is Tara's quote.
In my head. I'm a quote influencer. People start saying it after I
He holds claim to this quote.
I don't know what quote I say the most, but I say this phrase a lot, and a lot of people associate it with a certain cartoon, and it's "Good grief."
Charlie Brown, Peanuts.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Good grief.
Good grief.
I don't know if I'm quoting it. I don't know where that started, honestly.
I know that's the funny thing, because there's Fox and the Hound, when the guy breaks his leg and he's just like, "Dad, nabbit," and you never know that's where it comes from until later watching it, and you're like, "Is that where that word came from?"
Well, now that just put me in mind of another movie quote from that same movie. Good grief. It's elimination, lack of education.
I love that one.
On the same lines of the dag nabbit, I say dad gum because Mater says it a lot, so I'll go dad gum.
That's cute.
So oh my gosh. Okay. Good start off. Good round.
All right, so this one I don't say as often, but it cracks me up. Last time that I watched this movie, Aaron and I say it all the time now. It's "You deliberately dodged." Hold still.
Deliberately dodged? I thought you were going to say "You deliberately disobeyed me," and I was so ready for 5 Disney movies that one's from. You deliberately dodged. I have no idea.
It's Fox. No, not Fox and the Hound. What's the other Fox one? What is that? Robin Hood. It's Robin Hood. When the king and the snake Hess, is that his name? When they're sitting on the thrones and he goes to, like, bang him on the head and Hess like moves away. And he goes,
my God.
"You deliberately dodged. Hold still." And then he bangs him on the head.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I never would have guessed that.
That is, I didn't even think you said anything. That's so funny.
That's a good one.
So, because Aaron and I do slug bug a lot, so we're like 2 for flinching or something. So I'll say that to him if I, go to like punch him for a slug bug, and then I go, "You deliberately dodged." Hold still.
I like the 2 for flinching one. I've done that one before for sure.
Oh, where does that come from?
Tara, do you know?
Is it from Up?
No.
Mm-mm.
An
Something
older
like that.
Disney movie. It's Atlantis. Yeah. 2 for flinching.
Mole?
It's the girl.
The
It's the
mechanic.
mechanic.
What's her name?
Oh, one that I say randomly, it doesn't even really make sense, which is why I say it. And I will probably say it wrong just because I do it my own way now. It goes, "Mustachio with yogurt."
With pistachios. That's a good one. Mickey Mouse, A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm.
It's the ghost of Christmas. What is that? Past?
Present? I think it's present.
Present.
He's trying to
He's
save
a big old guy, and he's having like a feast, and he is telling whoever it was to like try something, and he couldn't say the word pistachio, and I thought it was hilarious forever.
You did say that one a lot.
One that I would say for fun would be Queen Olive
From Ella Enchanted. So I say this one a lot, especially when my chickens, a couple of them had the end of their life. And so, we had to dispose of them. And naturally, anytime that a pet dies, you have to give them their little farewell speech. So it's, "The body will decay. But your spirit lingers on."
Harry Potter.
Terrible.
That's the 5th one, right? Yeah,
Well, which one?
the 5th one, the 5th movie,
I'm pretty sure. Wait.
The Order of the Phoenix.
Spiders die.
This, yeah, the spider dies.
Aragog.
I don't know if I say this one very much, but I think we all like when the moment happens, we all synchronize and want to say it. It's just a funny one. In the flesh.
So all of Tara's quotes are from Treasure Planet.
Okay, there's only 2. I limited it to 2. Okay.
You can quote the entire movie, but
That's a good one. Treasure Planet. Oh my gosh, I say that one a lot to Malachi. He tries to say it, and I say it better, obviously.
Because go do the whole quote for me. I can never get it right.
In the flesh. Well, sort of, except for skin, organs, or anything that resembles flesh. That's not there.
Yes. That's it. We pieced it together. This one I feel like is a big one and that everyone should know. And if you don't, educate yourself. And it's not that one. That was on accident. But that is also a quote. Educate yourself. You know where it's from?
I don't remember.
Here, educate yourself. No?
Oh my gosh. You're gonna have to tell me.
It's Pleakley from Lilo
Oh my
and
gosh,
Stitch.
it is.
When he's like showing him about
Oh, yeah.
Is it the humans or the mosquitoes?
Anyways, that wasn't the quote that I was going to say. It just fell out.
This is how much we quote.
I know. So moist.
Yeah.
That
Cinderella story.
Cinderella story, yeah.
Beautiful.
Be moist.
You're not very pretty, and you're not very
Very
smart.
smart.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Okay, I have two from this movie that I feel like are said a lot. The first one I don't say as often as the second one, but the second one I think a lot. So first one, so it's the same. It's like movie one, movie two, right? So the first one is, how long is this going to take? Or maybe that's the second one. I don't remember.
No, it's the first one.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And then the other quote that I say about this, here, have more sacrifice. You look skinny.
Oh, this is fun for me. The sacrifice one is in when they're in Africa, so that's the second Madagascar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want more sacrifice.
Complete with fake
You
rocks.
look skinny.
I don't know if I have any more. I can't
I
think
have
of any more. off the top of my head.
That just reminded me of another one, different movie.
None.
But does anybody care about Sid the Sloth?
Oh yeah, that's big.
That's
What is it he says in the? Is it the dinosaur one? A lonely loner.
Oh, you guys
A
would
fortress of
always
solitude.
you guys would always quote pork pie.
We watched,
You accidentally watched it in a different language.
we would watch Ice Age in different languages because we would get like bored. So yeah, from the French language we would go pourquoi. From the Spanish one, it was
¿Por
¿Por
qué?
qué? Mucho
I actually got to say that in real life to Aaron one day. It was the best moment of my life. I think he asked me like why I couldn't leave the driveway or something, and I was like, "¿Por qué? Mucho
and in English that translates to because of all the ice. And it's so good. Or from that one, there goes our last female. Tara would say that one all the time.
Well, because it happened to me at one point. There was a real life situation when I was in geology camp, and I'm the only girl, and there's 12 guys, and we come across a lot of cliffs, and we look on the cliffs because we're geologists. And one of the guys behind me was like, Tara was getting so close to the edge of that cliff. I was like, there goes the last female. I was like, right.
Every time that when we became an adult and parenthood, and we would go from the family church to the young adult church, and Dad would always go, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Lord of the Rings. They're fresh.
That
Oh
was
my
also
god.
because of me, because of the situation. But
My last one, I say this to Savvy a lot, actually. I say, that'll do, pig.
Good one. Babe.
that's a good one.
I'm gonna rapid fire these, so just guess. Okay. So we
Alright.
have the best way to have a safe drive is to take the speed limit and divide by 5.
Word girl.
Who disturbs my slipper?
It's not you, idiot. Princess on the popper, naturally.
Very good. Very good.
Barbie version.
Ooh, all the officers. Ooh.
Pride and Prejudice,
I'm prejudiced.
the BBC version.
The 6-hour one, yeah. This one might be a little bit harder, but that is why you fail. I can't do it in his voice. That is why you fail. It's Yoda. It's Yoda from Star Wars.
That reminds me, actually, Dad likes the inconceivable.
Ah, yes, yes.
Or the, I do not think that means what you think it means.
Montoya. Good, my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
So good. Oh, and I remembered this one. Yours is a life truly blessed. No.
No, sis.
That was really good, but I can't
Yours
remember.
is a life truly blessed. No. You don't. Okay, let me. Hold on. Stop.
Teddy. Stop. Guys. I'm gonna throw up. It was the teeth, Teddy.
So you remembered.
I could see his face.
It's the Count of Monte Cristo. So
I said that.
yes, no.
I'm
I'm just saying it more so people can actually hear. Good job, Johnny. This one is a little bit more obscure. Very good, ma'am.
Obscure for who, Teddy? It's Pride and Prejudice. Come on.
Oh, when he's like disappointed because the servant has to leave when they're about to do hot goss. Like, that'll be all. Like, you may leave now. And he's like, dang it.
Very good, ma'am.
Very good. I thought he said miss.
This one is one Tawny and I used to like quote all the time, and we thought it was super funny. And it's Chester.
Oh my god, yeah. From Sky High. And I'm still not convinced if it's Chester or Jester, and I feel like
No
you
idea.
say it different every time because they don't have the subtitles at the end, so we just don't know what the name is. We even like subtitled it to figure it out.
I know.
We
Yeah.
just say both
No
names. Chester. Cover the bases.
And then these two are ones that Dad would say all the time. And one was patience, Yago.
Oh yeah. Aladdin.
Yes.
Honey.
Lion King, but Lion King is Zazu. That's to remind myself which one every time.
And then this one was George Just Lucky, I guess.
No,
George of the
Yeah.
jungle, watch out for that tree.
Yes. So those are two that Dad would say to us all the time. Oh man, and that's everything I got.
And this is your reminder to refresh on those movies if you haven't seen them recently, if you have no idea what we're talking about.
We could at one point just like talk to each other in straight movie quotes, nothing else, just movie quotes. Have like full-fledged conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it a talent? We'll leave it up to you to decide, you know.
I'm just saying I don't know a lot of people who can do it.
Just say we're better than you.
I think they call it a beige flag. You know?
It's nothing personal. It's just that we're better than you. So, with that said, speaking of movies, let's go ahead and review some recent movies that we have seen. We all were just talking about how we, within the last 24 hours, have all seen the movie Damsel on Netflix. I think it recently came on, right? What did you guys think?
So it's
That's
Millie
pretty-
Bobby Brown, which like in the previews when I saw it on like my phone, I didn't realize it was her. I was like, because
Yeah,
they
me
had her
neither.
hair chopped off and it was like red, and I'm like, who is this Scarlett Johansson looking chick? And like, so, but she did really good, and like it's very family friendly, which I thought was nice. Like,
Pleasantly surprised to have
yes,
the cleanest movie out there that is just new in 2024 for sure.
yeah, Netflix actually released something that like kids could watch, so good for them.
It is scary, obviously, but for children.
Hmm. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
really liked
overall,
it.
I thought it was legit. Thought she did a good job. They did enough like struggle and like success, and you know, it wasn't just like a straight winning situation. She still struggled. That was good. I really liked it.
Yeah. What did you
Yeah.
think, Tom?
Oh, for sure. I thought it was cute. From the previews, I thought it was going to be something more dark, I guess. Not as, I mean, not that it's not like said, it has some scary parts in it, and there are definitely some sad parts and some nail biters and whatnot. But I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised, like you guys said. Thought it was cute.
Yeah, it's like a cute watch, very very fairy tale-esque. But you know, like the girl power there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very girl power. Like
I mean, the girl starts with chopping wood. Come on now.
that is true.
Yeah, at least they set the stage for like why she could accomplish this.
Exactly. I was like, I'm glad that because anybody else would be like, nobody can do that. But then with the way it starts, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. No, I loved that it did have that turn, because it starts out and it's like, oh, okay, well, at like the beginning of it, you're like, oh, okay, they're gonna save the kingdom and whatever else, and then they get to the ceremony and you're like, I think something's gonna go off here. It feels like that something's gonna go off here, and then you're like, is something gonna go off here? And then it does, and you're like, yes.
I was confused by the end though. And she's like, I trust you to take care of them. And then she's like, we're going home. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Valentine was confused too. He was like, so she's staying? He was like, oh, so she's going. But yeah, no, that one was really cute. And then we also, Tanya, I don't think you've seen Mean Girls, the musical one that came out. But Sarah just watched it. I saw it in theaters.
What do you guys think of it? I didn't know it was a musical just from the previews. I really wanted to watch it. Not that I don't want to, knowing that it's a musical, but what do you guys think?
Well,
they purposely did not advertise the musical part, so that's why you didn't know.
I did know it was a musical after a while, but I don't love musicals. And since I watched it at home, I only really had to fast forward through like 2 songs just because I was exhausted. But overall, I really, really liked it. Honestly, I think I liked it maybe more than the original.
Oh.
But I think if it's kind of like Les Mis, like you have the musical version and the non-musical version, and sometimes you just need one or the other. So I think that's good. But I thought that the musical was just as good as the original. Maybe better. Regina was better. I loved Regina.
I loved her from the previews. That honestly, she was the reason why I wanted to watch it. I was like, I like what they're doing here.
Yeah, no, that girl thick. And she was like really, like how she portrayed the character. Regina was likable, like more likable. Obviously a likable person, which is why so many people thought she was so cool or whatever. But she was also like not very nice. And the music was pretty cool. There's like when they did the Halloween party, that was an intense scene. But yeah, I watched it in theaters with my friend, and she enjoyed it. It was cute. And they did the movie because a lot of people were like, "Oh, why are they doing a Mean Girls remake?" But it was just the Broadway like movie remake of the Broadway musical. So
right.
But the Friends
of Broadway.
Yeah. I really liked how they casted the Friends too. Like the 2 best friends that got Katie into.
Oh, that's another quote I use a lot from the original Mean Girls. You don't even go here. That's a quote I use a lot after seeing.
I use you can't sit with us.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really cute. I thought it's worth the watch for sure. And the songs weren't like crazy, but yeah, they weren't crazy. They weren't like super weird. I really enjoyed every time that like the guy best friend sang, because he was a really good singer, and I thought he was pretty funny. So, and Regina's songs were really good too.
I'll have to watch it then. And then Teddy, you just saw Dune.
I saw Dune Part 2, and the world is losing their minds over this movie.
Okay, but also, if you haven't seen the second, or if you haven't read the books, there are 3 movies. Going to be 3 movies, just so everybody is prepared. I literally watched the first one like a couple months ago, and I thought that was like the only movie was the first one, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. It sounded weird. Okay. Well, that was really nothing. And then I saw like a week later that Dune 2 was coming out, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was talking to Teddy about it, and I was like, so does it, end better? And Teddy's like, there's a 3rd movie. I'm like, okay, it's never gonna let us go.
So I haven't read the books or seen the movies. Is Dune the one that's similar to like kind of like Star Wars?
Yes. I mean, people are like, oh, Star Wars was based off of Dune, right? No. Like, I mean, yes, because it's like interplanetary systems and whatever. But as far as like there's a government controlled by like a religion, kind of like how you have the Jedi religion and the Sith religion, I guess.
It feels
But
more
Mandalorian.
It feels more Mandalorian without Baby Yoda. So, disappointing.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that might
yeah.
be it. That might be it. Yeah.
You don't have a character to love.
Yeah, I don't
No
really
Baby Yoda.
see the I guess like the similarities between Dune and Star Wars is it's planets, it's like aliens, different races from different planets. And Star Wars, it was also hard to follow and understand the story for me for years, and that's how I feel about Dune is I don't really understand the story. It doesn't really make sense. Um Part 2 though was a lot more clear than part 1. Part 1 it was like I have no idea any of the words that anyone's saying. Like
Have you read the books?
No, I have not.
Hmm.
But I've heard that they're good.
Have
But
you read them, Abby?
What?
Have you read the books?
No, I haven't.
yeah.
I feel like I've been scorned by Star Wars after. I mean, I enjoyed some of the original like 6 movies. Not all of them. Some of them were boring. But after they started coming out with so many more, and then so many additional like shows and whatnot, I was like, this is just too much. It's kind of how I feel about Avengers and basically the whole Marvel universe.
Marvel Universe, yeah.
Being where it's like you have to watch this movie to understand this movie to understand who this character is in this movie, and they're all interconnected. So if you miss a single movie in the whatever it's called in the world in the Marvel universe, then you're just kind of lost. And I don't like movies like that, so I have just kind of been dragging my feet on Dune. I don't know if I'm prepared.
Dune is definitely like its own world for sure, like of like a story wise, right? And but the thing is, so like we have great actors in the movie. We have a super like strong soundtrack from Hans Zimmer. Super solid soundtrack. Everyone, the music's funny, like to make fun of on social media. But it's also like really good music because it's an icon. So
I'm sure you here, Teddy.
and then we have like really good CGI, which is fun, and some cool atmospheres that they make with the CGI. So all of those things, awesome. Is it the best movie in the world? No. Like, and the reason for that is because the story is just like confusing for me at least. It's confusing to understand, and I don't think that it's necessarily like the main actors greatest performances of all time or anything. I mean, they do good, but there's just like so many gaps in it, and I know that it's just a lot to cover, and I don't know. And it's also kind of like dark and scary parts too. But the most epic part of the movie was the sandworms. Shout out to the sandworms that acted in that. They did great.
Overall, if you have time to kill, it's a movie to watch,
Yeah, it's a very long movie. There's a lot of hype out about it, and it's a good movie, but it's not the most amazing movie of all time, and it would not replace any of the trilogies that I already like hold dear. So, yeah.
Well, I have to say I don't feel any more motivated to watch it than I did prior, which was none.
And like I said, if you have time to kill and you're like, I need a movie I haven't seen yet, watch it. That's pretty much what I did. And I was like, all right, well, it's not like I was gonna do anything else with my time, so it's fine.
I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, just wait till the third one comes out and then decide whether you want to watch them. So is
That's
my
true, so you can get the full picture.
Well, I feel like I would have to read the books before watching the movies, especially to really understand it. And my wish list is already pretty full, so I'd have to be kind of near the bottom. And it's like series of books right now that I have.
And I literally just gave Tawny like 3 series to read.
Yeah.
Is it a series or is it just one book?
It's a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I finish my books and I have nothing better to do.
Then I'm sure the books are really good in the way that
I've
like
heard
Lord
they
of the
are.
Rings.
You need like a really long flight, and they're like, all that's available is to listen to Dune. And you're like, okay, I guess we'll listen to.
Or watch the movies. Is that, when you like pick random movies you watch on an airplane?
Yep.
Yeah,
You're like, wouldn't watch this at home, so I guess we'll watch it here.
Well, other than those ones, any other movies you guys have seen? New movies, I guess, or shows?
I just finished The Blacklist.
I started rewatching it because I don't think I got past season 3. So I started rewatching it, and I'm now in season 4. And I was like, oh, I must be getting pretty close, right? No, there's like 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Very close. Yeah.
I'm gonna be here a while.
Was it satisfying the last episode?
Kind of, but kind of not. It could have been more satisfying. More satisfying. But they chose not to do a thing that would have made it satisfying.
I feel like
they do that every episode.
I feel like the most satisfying, like, last final episode of a series was Queen of the South for me. That last episode was like everything everyone needed. It was beautiful. And so I don't know if there's a lot of shows that give us that kind of closure,
Well, last thing, Teddy had mentioned that you saw on Instagram recently a little debate going on. Do you want to explain that to us?
Yeah, it was just super random. It was this guy who was like, okay, so we're splitting the United States in half, east to west. Which side is winning, the east side or the west side? For if another civil war happened, which it won't, because we're millennials and Gen Zers. We won't get off of our...
We don't war.
Yeah, that's not something that we would do. But
it depends on what you guys are wearing. Are we all carpooling or?
Do I get to choose which side I can be on? Do I have to be on the current where I'm at? Or can I move over?
This is happening before 8 p.m. or later.
Are we gonna dress like comfy, or are we going full out wartime clothes?
Are we doing dodgeball rules or picking teams?
And if I'm not riding with anybody, I'm not going.
If there's no parking, count me out.
Are they serving refreshments at least? Do we have snacks? Yeah. So taking that out, east side versus west side, who do you think would win? I can throw stats.
East side.
Your vote is east side?
Just because of the higher population. They it's part of their culture for the majority of these states to know these battles. So they're already, they didn't learn it from playing video games. It's already built into their system on these battles. And they have the majority of battle sites to re-honor, so they kind of have to win.
I mean, yes, but these are also the same states that are staring down wartime statues, and I don't know about that. Personally, I would probably side with the West, because these are the people who are farmers and who are gun owners and who, I just feel like, they're the ones who have the bomb shelters, and that's my opinion on that.
I will say though, the only issue with the East is I feel like the West is way more unified, and the East will just struggle with staying unified.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. So fun facts: 80%, or about 250 million Americans, live in the East. And the East Coast has about 127 million people population, whereas the West Coast has about 53 million.
Is it really 80%? That's crazy.
Yeah, 80% live on the East side. Isn't that wild?
because
that I may change my answer.
well, that explains why the West is happier. Happier people. Why happier cows come from California. They're not overburdened with the amount of
But, like, there is that strong argument, I feel, because I mean, we call it the Wild West for a reason, right? It's not the Wild East. So, like, we have that on the west side. The east side has a bunch of super, super dangerous cities and some dangerous people around. Yeah. So, like, they have.
No. Where do you think I live? Hello? I am like, have two different dangerous cities, like, right on either side of me.
That's
Yeah,
what
so I'm saying the east side has a bunch of east.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said west.
I'm down here.
No. The west. But then I changed my answer to agree. So the East Coast has all of these dangerous cities, and then like the East think that they can just send out like Florida men to the West to like take them out because Florida men be great,
Yeah.
right? They're a different level, right?
Wild animals. With the sending all the Okies and Arkies again, and we're just like, no.
But if like there was like a battlefield to take place, it would happen in the West because there's more space than the East because it's a lot more like condensed. Trees are in the way, blah 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 blah. Save the forest. So it would be happening home turf West side. And if it happened in the summer, everyone in the East would just like melt because it's super hot over it.
They would dry out. They would just dry out.
So yeah, there's a lot of desert, but we do have, battlefields like Death Valley on our side on the west, right? So
it's like Death Valley. They count me out. I'm done. I'm always winning that war.
Except for
that's no man's land right there.
So you have all of these dangerous cities in the east, all of these gangbangers in the west coming together. I don't know if numbers would save them, but to your point, Tara, I do think that the East would struggle more with power in the East than the West would with power in the West. And therefore, divide and conquer, West comes over, they turn off everyone's Wi-Fi, chaos.
Or
the West cuts off all the crops and agriculture being sent on over to them.
Oh, that's true. You could.
California does have
just like
food and resources.
You could just scorch Earth in the middle and then not
for
food over, which could definitely hurt the east side.
But if somebody in the east just goes and starts setting California on fire in random places, they're done.
Sneak in.
But the east side has DC, and there are a lot of countries around the world that would like to see DC fall. So if the West needed to recruit outer countries, they would have more help.
Actually, except the West has Area 51, so then they aren't doing other countries, they're doing other planets. Attacking.
I see your seaports and I raise you.
So, I mean, personally, it's a toss-up, but if I were to put some money on it, I would say the West.
I'm still siding with the West.
I'll keep to the East. I believe in them. I think that even if it wasn't unified, I think that they would be like, okay, will, like, if it's divided within the East, I think that they would allow each other to do their own thing, but still be like, we are East, but attack different fronts.
Like have their own separate little battalions. Be like, hey, everybody who believes this, gather here. Everybody who believes this, gather here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I do
think it
feel
would work,
though
yeah.
that like San Francisco would be knocked off because they would be like the sacrificial lamb for the West for sure.
They'd literally just be like dropped into the ocean to avoid dealing with them.
But then you have like Hollywood, which
We just frack that area and they'll be gone in no time.
oh, right. So yeah, not that that would ever happen, but it was a funny thing I saw.
That was pretty interesting. I feel like I'll think of more reasons later, but I guess that means I would have to leave the East if that were to happen, if I am truly going to side with the West.
I mean, obviously, I would choose whatever side you guys are going to. I'm not going to fight against you.
Brother against brother.
Yeah.
Tara would be like, we're all meeting there? Oh, okay.
Like, I have to sneak across. I have to go through Canada and come back down and get across.
You mean North Montana? Oh, that was the other one. I
Oh,
forgot.
that's another one.
Beautiful. So yeah, pick your side. And we'll see who wins. And hopefully after we're not on this planet anymore.
So we're in Area
We get
51.
the aliens. Release the secret weapon.
Oh, wowie.
Can't stop, won't stop.
You can't turn this on and off.
Well, with that said, I'm shutting y'all down. See y'all next time. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Wild&T. This podcast episode was produced and edited by Teddy Chanpoon, Kyron Maciel, and Dallas Hansen. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with your sisters. For more content, you can follow Wild&T on all platforms or our individual socials. See you next week.